Welcome. Today we're going to be discussing discounts and markups. This is an especially important idea if you're ever interested in running your own business. Most businesses, if they are selling a product, engage in calculating discounts and markups as a way to ensure that they make enough money. So first, we're going to learn some new vocabulary words and understand sort of how they fit into this process of running a business. So the first thing we need to identify is, what you start with is you start with the wholesale price. Now, this is going to be how much money, the company or the business will pay for their item. So a company will have to buy materials or buy an item, and then they will sell it as a result. So for example, a clothing company might buy really cheap t-shirts from a manufacturer, and the company like Target or Forever 21 or wherever will pay a very low price because they buy so many t-shirts at one time. So the price per t-shirt that the company pays is called the wholesale price. From there, the company needs to make sure that they're going to earn money when they sell the item. So they will mark up the price. So this will be an extra amount of money that they add to what they already paid for. And as a result of that, you will then get the retail price. And the retail price, this is the amount that a customer will pay, assuming that it's full price and there is no discount. Now, sometimes the retail price is also referred to as the original price because for consumers, they never see the wholesale price. This is only something that the business sees. So for customers coming into the store, the retail price is the original price that they see. Now, if there's not enough people buying the items, or if the company wants to make room for new products that are coming in, then oftentimes a great way to encourage people to buy items is to discount them. So they will reduce the price by a certain amount of money, and that will then, the new price listed will be called the sale price. And this is the price that customers will pay after the discount is applied. So you can see here, this flow is how the price of an item is determined in most businesses. So you start with the wholesale price that the business pays for, then they will mark up the price, increasing the price to get the retail price. This is what they advertise online, they post on the boxes or on the shelves, and this is what customers normally will pay. Sometimes they will then discount the price, reducing it down to the sale price. So let's look at an example, and we can practice identifying and calculating these different pieces. So let's take the example, Mrs. Akiyama's awesome keychains. So this is a company where Mrs. Akiyama sells keychains. Now you can see that the wholesale price that she buys the keychains from a manufacturer, she pays $15 per keychain. And then maybe she will, bedazzle them or put a cool logo on it or decorate it in some way. And then when she sells them, she wants to make sure she makes enough money. So she is going to increase the cost, the listed cost, by 120%. So this is the percent markup. So what we want to figure out is how much actual dollars will be added if to the price of the keychain if it's marked up by 120%. Now, we can take the ideas of the part, the whole, the percent, and 100, and we're just going to use these different vocabulary words instead of part, whole, percent, and 100. So the first thing that we can calculate is we can try to calculate the markup. Now, to do that, we will need to identify the amount of markup, the wholesale price, the percent markup, and 100. So for us, we already know the wholesale price is 15, the percent markup is 120%, the 100 stays the same. We just don't know what this markup amount is. So we can go ahead and use what we know. So we can say let X be the amount of markup. So we have X for markup, 15 for the wholesale price, 120 for the percent markup, and 100 for the 100. And from here, you can go ahead and cross multiply and simplify the multiplication, and then eventually divide both sides by 100 to get that x equals 18. So once the proportion is set up, you solve it just like you do any other proportion. Now, once we know the amount of dollars that we are adding to the price of the keychain, we can then identify the retail price. Now, this is how much money a normal paying customer will spend on the keychain. Now, there's two different ways that we can calculate the retail price, depending on what information we're given. So you can either start with the wholesale price and calculate the retail price by taking the percent markup, adding 100% to that, and then dividing by 100, and using this setup. Or if you happen to already calculate the amount of markup, you can add that to the wholesale price to get the retail price. So let's see how this looks if we were to use this proportion. If we just wanted to take the original information and calculate the retail price, we could do so like this. So we pick a variable, represent the retail price. It'll be that variable over the wholesale price, which is 15, equals the percent markup, which is 120, plus an extra 100%, all over 100. So when you cross multiply, you'll have y times 100 equals 15 times that entire numerator, which is 120 plus 100, which works out to just be 220. And from there, you can go ahead and simplify to get 100y equals 3,300. And finally, we divide both sides by the coefficient of y to get that the amount that the new retail price is going to be $33. So this is what would be listed on the website if someone came to buy the item. And we can double check that this is correct because we already know the wholesale price, and earlier we calculated the markup. So if we add those two amounts together, sure enough, 15 for the wholesale price plus the $18 that it is marked up gives us the total of $33 for the retail price. That seems really expensive for a keychain. So maybe after a while these aren't selling very well. So Mrs. Akiyama decides to apply a discount. And so she says, you know what, we're gonna have a 20% discount for this store. So now we need to figure out how much this retail price is being reduced by the discount. So the amount of money that the price is lowered by, that is going to be our discount. So the formula we can use to calculate that will be the discount over the previous price, the retail price, equals the percent discount over 100. Again, it fits this part, whole, percent, 100 setup that we've been using throughout topic 3. So from here, we can use a variable for what we want to find out, in this case the discount. So we can substitute in W for the discount, or whatever variable you choose, 33 for the retail price that we had found just earlier, the 20% discount that we were told over 100. And from here, we can solve our proportion, and we'll end up getting that the W equals 6.6. So this tells us the price is reduced or discounted by $6.60. Now that we know that, we can now find the sale price, and there's two different ways we could calculate what that sales price is. The first option is to just take what we originally knew about the retail price and calculate the sales price from that. To do that, you would set the sales price over the retail price, and that will equal 100 minus the percent discount, so that you're figuring out how much is, what the remaining percentage is that you have to pay for the item. And all of that will be over 100. So we can see this used over here. So let P equal the sales price. So we'll have P over the retail price, which is 33, equals 100 minus the percent discount, which over here we said was 20%, so that's why we are subtracting 20%. So when we do that, we'll find how much, what percent of the price we still need, the customer still needs to pay. So from here we can cross multiply. P times 100 equals 33 times this entire numerator, so 100 minus 20. And it turns out 100 minus 20 is 80. So that's telling us that the customer is still paying 80% of the retail price. So from there, we can calculate out, we can do the multiplication and then divide both sides by the coefficient and we get $26.40. So this tells us the original price that the customer would pay was $33. It is now discounted down to the sales price, which is $26.40. Another way that we can calculate the sales price is to take the retail price, subtract the discount, and that should give us the sales price. And that's what this formula is showing here. The retail price minus the discount equals the sales price. And sure enough, $33 for the retail price minus the discount, which is 6.6, will give us the sales price of $26.40.